Imagine watching your house burn down on Christmas Eve. You know your children are trapped inside. But when the smoke clears, there are no bodies. No bones, nothing. Did they burn? Or were they taken? Today is episode 15. We are investigating the most disturbing missing persons case in American history, the Sodder children. The year is 1945. The place is Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder lived a happy life with their 9 children. George was a hard-working Italian immigrant who ran a trucking company. But he was also vocal about his dislike for the Italian dictator, Mussolini. This made him some enemies. On Christmas Eve, the atmosphere was festive. The children opened presents. The younger ones asked to stay up late. Jenny said yes. At 12:30 a.m., the phone rang. Jenny answered. A woman with a strange laugh asked for someone who didn't live there. Jenny hung up and went back to bed. She noticed the curtains were open and the lights were still on. She assumed the kids had gone to sleep. Half an hour later, she woke up to the smell of smoke. The fuse box was on fire. George and Jenny grabbed 4 of the children and ran outside into the snow. But 5 of the children, Morris, Martha, Louis, Jenny and Betty, were still upstairs. George was a man of action. He ran to the side of the house to grab his tall ladder. He planned to climb up and break the attic window, but the ladder was gone. It was always kept in the same spot. But tonight, it had vanished. He didn't give up. He ran to his coal trucks. He planned to drive one up to the wall and stand on the roof. He turned the key, the engine cranked, but it wouldn't start. He tried the second truck. Dead. Both trucks had worked perfectly the day before. Desperate, he tried to use the water barrel. It was frozen solid. The family stood in the snow, screaming, as the roof collapsed. It took only 45 minutes for the house to turn into a pile of ash. By morning, the fire was out. The family waited for the coroner to collect the remains. But the searchers found nothing, no skulls, no rib cages. Not even a fragment of bone. The local fire chief told the parents that the fire had been so hot, it had completely vaporized the bodies. The family buried the ashes and planted a garden over the site. But George began to suspect something dark. He consulted a cremation expert. He learned that even in a crematorium, which burns at 2,000 degrees for 2 hours, bones still remain. A wooden house fire burns at only a fraction of that heat. It is scientifically impossible for 5 skeletons to disappear. Then, the clues of sabotage started to appear. The missing ladder was found days later, thrown down an embankment away from the house. A mechanic looked at the trucks and found they hadn't broken down. The wires had been cut. And a witness came forward claiming they saw fireballs being thrown onto the roof. George remembered a visit from a life insurance salesman months earlier. The salesman had gotten angry and shouted, "Your house will go up in smoke, and your children will be destroyed, because of your dirty remarks about Mussolini." The family put up a famous billboard on the highway, offering a reward. They spent their lives searching. In 1968, 20 years after the fire, the mystery deepened. Jenny checked her mail. Inside was a grainy photo of a young man in his 20s. He had dark eyes and a strong jaw. On the back, a handwritten note read, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Illinois, A90132. The parents were convinced it was their son, Louis, who would have been 9 when the fire happened. They sent a private investigator to Kentucky to find him. The investigator took their money and was never heard from again. George and Jenny died without ever knowing the truth. Did the mafia kidnap the children to punish George? Did they start a new life somewhere else? Or are their bones still hidden somewhere in the West Virginia dirt? Like the videos, subscribe to my channel, and tell me, do you think the photo was really Louis?